she went to Trishana, behind my back. Not in that she wasn't doing it on purpose. Like she wasn't trying to say anything bad about me on purpose. But she basically said, "Oh, I kind of feel uncomfortable because they met with my aunt and uncle, and they felt like they had to sign up for something or they weren't ready to make a decision, right?" And Trishana, came to me, of course, and the mentality Trishana has and how she explained it to her trainee was so great. So I'm actually gonna have Trishana answer that question. Go ahead, Trishana. I love picking on her.
Okay. So I explained to her, I was like, well, I asked her a question. I said, if so for a bit, she's a mom, right? So I kind of like made try to tailor it to her situation. So I say, hey, listen, if your daughter was doing something that was detrimental to her growth, or you knew the answer to it, right? You knew the solution. Would you tell her? And she was like, yeah, of course I would. And I basically said, well, that's the same situation here. So I said, when you've seen and been through what Jen has been through, then you'll understand where she's coming from. And I had to kind of like explain to her that she's not being pushy, right? She's had to deliver a death claim before. And what we're doing overall is for the well-being of the family, because bottom line, right? You've got some protection on yourself, right, for your child, right? Yes, right? Why did you do that? She told me whatever her reasons were. And so I told her, hey, listen, when you're dealing with the family, they're gonna fight you on every single excuse, right? And kind of you have to kind of like be stern a little bit, because if not, then they won't see the need for it. And I also kind of like explained to her, you got to kind of like appeal to their emotions, which is what Jen did, right? When she talked about whatever Jen said, whatever the situation was. But when people aren't thinking logically, you have to appeal to their emotions. And basically, I told her the way that Jen did it was the way that she had to do it, because obviously it wasn't whatever something wasn't working. So
Yes,
That's
and if
really good.
they and Trishana told me that she didn't touch on it, but worst case scenario, they pass away, then we did everything we could do. I mean, they take care of their grandchildren and they still give money to their grown children. That's crazy. So yeah,
That's
but
big.
yeah, so we're teaching, it's don't feel bad. You're gonna be the bad guy in their eyes when they have to pay a premium. But you're the good guy when you don't have to bring just flowers and cards to the funeral home. You're bringing a check,
That's
okay?
right.
And you're the second or third call they're gonna make outside of hot family members after somebody passes away immediately, right,
That's
Shay?
good. That is good. That is really, really good because it's very true what you said, Trishana. Jen has delivered not one, not two, but a few death claims. So she understands that we work for those survivors, right? That's big because people, for some reason, people say, I don't plan to die. Well, good Lord, none of us plan to die. But it's crazy. And I tell people that I'm like, isn't it funny how we all want to see Jesus, but none of us want to die? Like, that's a part of the process. We got to go, right? And I don't plan on it. I don't say, well, in 50 years, after my kids are grown and successful and I have great grandchildren, I'm going to die at age 96 doing this. And this is how I'm going to, we don't plan on it, right? But we have to plan on it, if that makes sense. And sometimes people on the other end, they don't understand that. So you do have to have those uncomfortable conversations. And then also what coach taught us is let them know. I understand this is uncomfortable and I do apologize. However, let them know. I know this is uncomfortable. I get it. And personal stories are phenomenal when those times come up. Like I talk about my mom, I talk about my uncle. My aunt was so mad at me for following up with her for over a year to get my uncle covered. And he dies 4 months later after becoming my client. Are you kidding? I tell that story. My aunt told me, I was so mad at you. I mean, she's bawling, crying, but thank you. Thank you so much, Nisi Poo. That's what she called me. Thank you so much, Nisi Poo. I'm so glad. But she was mad at me for a year. 4 months later, you all. That's what we do. This is what we've signed up for. And you must be able to overcome those objections. And like Jen said, don't jump out to it like a salesperson. This is real. This is genuine. This is real life. You have to sit back, calm down, and just say it to them. Lower your voice, right? And just let them know. find out what it is, get to the real know, because something might happen to them tomorrow. We don't know, right? So we have to make sure we do our part. That's good. That's really good. Thank you, Trishana. I really, really appreciate that. That's big. Yeah, I don't mean to be pushy, but yes, that's another one. That's another one, because people think that you're being pushy, and that's not what it is, because they're looking at it, I have to buy something. They're not looking at it as I'm protecting my income when I go. They don't, it's crazy. They don't look at it like that, right? When I got insurance, I automatically knew I need this because something happens to me, I got to make sure my family's good. I automatically understood it. I understand what I needed, but I knew I needed something, just like car insurance, just like dental insurance, just like health. I understood that part. It's amazing to me how people look at this, but when something happens, those GoFundMe's come flying on social media. Oh, now you get it, right? My husband is in Georgia right now. His uncle passed away from diabetes. He had attempted to get his uncle covered through his cousins several years ago. The uncle gets diabetes, high blood pressure, all the other stuff that come with being not healthy. Now they want to get insurance. The uncle passes away last week. Guess what they said into my GoFundMe? Can you help us out? You know what he said? No, because remember when I said we need to get him covered and you all covered too. You guys shunned me down. No, I'm not helping you. No, you had a chance, but now he got extra sick. Now you guys want to get, now you want to send a GoFundMe out. Now you're on social media begging for money. Come on. This is family member. This is his mom's brother. You understand that? Like when you believe in what you do, you got to have those uncomfortable conversations. It's just, it is what it is. Go ahead, Jen.
Oh, yeah, that was so good. We're gonna close out, but we want to see if there's any questions. If you guys really see this, these are trainings that you guys have heard before in different orders. Okay, there's nothing new under the sun. It's not saying the different things to the same people. It's saying the same thing to different people. So your job is to grow your attendance and get more teammates into a training like this. Because if you had 5, 10 other teammates listening to Shay and myself, and you guys, when you guys start training, I mean, guess how big of a hierarchy you can build. You know. I mean, we just had somebody jump $2 million in a year, Willie Naranjo, right? Somebody just made $3 million. I mean, $1 million in 2 years and 11 months, right? Carlos, right? Was that his name? Shay?
Yes.
Like, so people are making moves in this company because people need us, guys. We are a inflation-proof company. If you guys just learn these skill sets and all you do is repeat the process with somebody watching you, right? First you watching your trainer, then somebody watching you, and then just watch it duplicate, right? So just keep repeating the process, nothing new. Don't get bored of the process, guys. It's fun.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's what
Yeah.
happens. People get bored, but that's when you bring in new people. New people take away that boredom. Nothing against my old people. I love them, but new people just give you a fire, an energy. You know what I mean? That's different. They just spark you. They like shock you. New people, new people, new people, new people.
Yeah.
Who has questions?
I got time for maybe 2-3 questions.
Go ahead, Gabby.
Okay. We talked about overcoming the objection of when you're already sitting down with the client. What about on like a referral type basis? I've had several people who are clients with me now who referred me people. They don't want to reach out to the people that they referred me to. I've lost, I think, like 10 referrals because they said they didn't want to reach out to them anymore and that they didn't want to go through with it. I'm like, but you have insurance and you have single friends with kids who also like need it, but they don't want to like introduce. Like one client who I just did the amendment for told me she wasn't reaching out to her friends. So just to scratch them off my list altogether.
All right, Queen, there you go. That's a good one.
That's a really good one. So I've never had that happen personally, Gabrielle. However, what are you telling your clients to say to them when you first get the referral?
When I first get the referral, I send them the 3-way text message to go between me and them. And it's basically, hey, I just sat down with a financial agent who changed the way I was looking at my finances. If you don't mind taking a call from Gabrielle, or if you don't mind doing me a favor and taking a call from Gabrielle, that'd be of great help. And yeah, and they have taken calls, but they reach back out to them like, what does she want? And she goes, oh yeah, insurance. And I was like, no, it wasn't, don't say that. That's not what I want.
So
But
let me ask you, when you send that text message, do you get your client prepared for that at all?
prepare for the response back.
Yeah.
Yes. I usually
Okay.
tell them when they respond, then I will call them, or then I'll reach out to them after they respond to the message. But they feel like they're doing their due diligence.
Right. No, but what I mean is, are you preparing your client for how to respond to a question when somebody says, what does Gabrielle want?
Like the what to say and what not to say, basically,
Yes.
is what she said.
No. I
Okay.
didn't
That,
because they were adults, but
right. No, it's fine. Listen, you're an adult too, right? How much help do you need from Shay or anybody else who's training you, right?
I call her daily.
Right. So listen, you are in the company, right? This is a psychology thing. If you're in the company and you still need help, right? Then of course your client's going to need help because they're not even in the company. They're just a client, right? They don't know what to say. They just know what they bought from you. And that's okay. They know what they got from you. If they didn't get investments from you, they're not going to sell you as an investment advisor. Does that make sense? They're going to offer you as an insurance agent. That's just natural. So if I was asking Mama V for a referral, right? She gives me 10 referrals. I go, thank you so much, Mama V. Thank you so much for introducing me to these people. Listen, I don't want to call them yet until you reach out to them first. However, I don't want you to feel like you have to do all of my work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a text message. If you could just 3-way text them with me, and that way when they respond, I can go ahead and just call them. However, one thing I do want you to know is these people are going to ask what is Jen Lee going to talk about or whatnot, right? I just want you to let them know, hey, it's just good financial education. I don't want you to say anything about insurance or investments because that's going to cause them to be closed already since they're going to think they're just going to have to buy anything. And you know that's not right, right? And I have that dialogue. So if I feel like I'm getting that objection from a certain stream of referrals, because people tend to hang with people, they are like each other, right? If I feel like that's a type of stream of referrals I'm running into, I'm going to let that person know, hey, when somebody asks you back, hey, what is she going to talk about? I don't want you to say insurance or investments first. I want you to let them know that it was really great financial education and that'd be worth it for them to take a 2-minute phone call and they can decide on their own if they want to meet. That's it. So, Trey,
That's
anything?
good. That's good. Like a new recruit.
Yeah.
Gabby, like a new recruit, you have to filter. You know what I mean? You have to put that armor on them and let them know this is what may happen. This is what you say or not say. That's really good. Really good. So treat the person who's giving you the referrals like a new recruit. That's essentially what she's saying. That's really good. Pastor Willie, how you doing, sir?
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm
What's
just
your
trying
question?
just trying to get that note down real quick.
Yeah, that was a good one. Don't miss that one.
That's very true. Objections. I've gotten a couple about the company, not the money, the company. How do you handle that? I got an idea, but how would you suggest to handle that?
That's good. What do they say to you? What are they saying?
Have you heard bad things about the company?
Okay. So what I do is, and you're a pastor, so you'll understand this. I say people say bad things about God too.
Mhm.
Google God and look what people say about God.
Mhm.
Do we listen to what people say on a blog? Let me give you some credible information for you to see what our company is, right?
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
also, right, it's not the company, it could be a person that they've run into. The person who may represent Primerica. Now, are there some bad apples in Primerica? Sure,
Mhm.
right? That's anywhere. Are there some bad Christians, Pastor?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, right? That doesn't mean
Yes.
Christianity is bad.
No.
You understand? So when people say that, I give them so many different analogies. I say, look at what the world thinks about a Black man. Come on. Do you think all Black men are how they perceive our Black men? No, they're not. No, absolutely not. I go in because I say, this company buried my mom. Are you kidding me? And you tell me about the company? I represent the company, right? So this is when I get very passionate, you all, Pastor, because this company buried my mom and my uncle and my nephew's coworker. I delivered all of those claims. So I get very passionate when people try to jump on the company because I tell them, no. Who did you hear that from? Was it a person? What happened? And then I apologize to them. Listen, I am so sorry. I really am. However, I represent Primerica. I'm the representative. And Pastor, I know you have a ton of credibility, so they have to understand you represent Primerica. Now, listen, we have over, what is it, 130,000 licensed representatives. You think they're all just angels? Sorry, they're not. But me, I represent Primerica.
Mhm.
And then I give them websites, the Forbes article, Yahoo Finance, right? It's so many different articles out there that we can get to you to debunk what people say
But-
about our company. You understand? We've been
Please,
around for
please.
44
Mhm.
years. Like it's so
That's-
many different things. Absolutely.
That's
I'll
kind
give
of
that to
how,
Dave and tell you so we can get that to you. Does that help a little
Right.
bit though?
yeah, that's kind of how I handle it. I just
Yeah.
want to know if there was anything different that I might have missed.
That's it, sir. That's it.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
like people are
Thank you.
so quick to jump on the company. It's like,
Mhm.
you ever been to like McDonald's and somebody did something to McDonald's? You went back to McDonald's, didn't you?
Mhm.
It was the person. It wasn't McDonald's Corporation. It was the person who works at McDonald's. Our company as a whole is stellar. And listen, they get rid of people who don't represent the right way. They do. They will terminate a license in a minute. They will contact your regional vice president, your OSJ, if they find something on you. You have to do a
Mhm.
criminal background check. They investigate you. You got to do fingerprints. It's like, come on,
Mhm.
you know, it's not the company. You may have run into a bad person, maybe. You understand? So I kind of go in that way, not kind of. That's
Okay.
what I do, and then I send them
Okay.
credible information. Better Business Bureau. The CEO did an article on us, wrote a letter, a Better Business Bureau on Primerica. And then I tell my personal experience, the delivery that came from my mom, my uncle, my nephew's coworker. I tell how the company, you know, treated us as a whole, as a family, which is very important.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jen, you're welcome. Jen, you want to add to that?
No, that's perfect. That's it. That's all I was gonna say too.
That's it, right? Absolutely. Jonathan, sir, how you doing?
I'm fine. How you doing?
Doing good, sir. Doing good. Thank you.
My question was also about going back to the overcoming objections when the money one. When you are at the process of overcoming the objection, when they have a question like if it might be the money in your close process, is this already at the end? Like, have you already kind of like quoted, or you have to have the triplicate of choice in front of them and they already see that? Like, how's that process go at the end of maybe your presentation when you come to that objection? If that makes sense. I don't know if I'm asking that the way that I thought that I would, because I've holding on to that question for a while.
You want to catch that, Shay? You want me to do it? Okay. So, hey, Jonathan, what's going
Hey.
on? Long no see.
I know, right? How you doing?
Yeah, it's almost a year in quarantine. Can you believe it?
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So there's one of two times I'll get this. When you get in the presentation and you're asking the commitment questions, let me pull it up. Where, oh shoot, Shay, I made you the host again, but it's okay. You should know the page anyway since you've been around. But the commitment questions where it says usually a normal parent, normal responsible family member like yourself doesn't have insurance outside of their job. Usually it's because of one of these three reasons. You didn't think you needed it, didn't think you could afford it, never got around to it. Which one of those describes you? And then there's two commitment questions underneath. Okay. I know I'm talking fast because we have blitz. Okay. But would protecting your family be important enough to you to where you'd begin setting aside some money every month to take care of this? So Jonathan, that's when you're going to get that objection if it's going to come up. Okay.
Right.
Or the secondary one, this question right after that is, if I could put together an affordable plan for you, right? Would that be something that you would implement? That's also a time when they're going to kind of push back and be like, yeah, maybe, right? That's when I'll say, okay, great. So just to clarify my thinking, you said this is something important to you, but then you said maybe you might want to put aside some money or implement a plan. What do you mean by that? Just ask them, what do they mean? It's
Right.
okay. You got to get in their mindset, right? Like Shaq said. Then another time will be, yes, the triplicate of choice. Either way, it's gonna come up only one time, and you only need one time for it to come up to overcome it based on what they waste money on from compound interest slide. Shay, anything?
Nope, that was perfect. That was perfect.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep, we got to close out, guys. Go ahead, Shay.
This comes from a lot of overcoming objections. a lot of lost applications that between Jen and myself, listen, we've learned so much, you guys. The biggest thing for you guys to get as many people on these trainings as possible. So important. So important. You guys know what it is. We got the blitz at 11 o'clock. Jump on, get your names and numbers ready. If you haven't already gotten your appointment set up for the week, take time out for your business and set your appointments up. Do what you need to do to get to that $5,000 a month part-time in income. All right, we got 3 minutes to the blitz. God bless you guys. Stay safe, wear your mask, stay out the way. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.